All right, ladies. What time is it? Ask
Ask
your
your
auntie.
aunties. Mwah.
And this one just like so today that we're recording is coming out day, so that's why it's kind of been a gay ass. I mean, every episode's a gay ass episode. Are you kidding me? But just kind of
I'm
hitting
a
on like
I'm a fag. Get it right.
get it all the way together. Dicks, ass,
Right.
dicks, ass, dicks, and ass. And so in honor of coming out day, even though this is going to come out the week after it occurred, the question is, and this is one that I just came up today, which is like, hey aunties, hey us, what are you proud about now that you would be excited to tell your younger self that either when you were still in the closet or whatever it may be? What, like, as of today, October 11th that we're recording this, October, what is, it'll be the 17th that this episode comes out of 2022. What are you proud about as your gay self now that it'd be dope to, if you had a time travel machine to go tell your younger self?
Damn.
Right. Mm.
And it doesn't even have to be something that deep. It could be
honestly, I really don't know. Just because I'm still on my journey to discovering my most authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have something really big to say, but I will say, like, because I've been doing therapy for the last year and a half, I've been uncovering like childhood trauma and stuff like that that's been really carrying with me. I think the only thing I would do would go back to my younger self and just say, you know, it's okay that there will be people who are in your family and your life that will dim your light or smother your flame because they are not equipped to understand who you are in your youth. And you carry that around with you for some years, afraid that other people may do the same thing to you. So you tend to be a people pleaser just so no one feels like they need to do that for you. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people really say. And forgive those people who don't accept you for who you are. You just have to continue to believe and see yourself, and that is going to go a long ways, because it's been a very common thing the last few months in my sessions is unpacking a lot of that childhood trauma of, you know, adults not showing up for me the way they should have when I was a queer kid, and certain things happening to me in my life that I carried along with me throughout my years feeling ashamed of, you know. And I have to remember that I was a child and there were adults who had the responsibility to teach me and to show me, and they chose not to.
Yeah.
And that is what matters the most. And as a child, you only know so much.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that's what I would tell my younger self.
Landed.
I'm getting a little teary eyed.
Oh, don't hold on. Let me get my towel.
I wish I could go back and tell that 8-year-old, that 16-year-old, that 17-year-old, that 19-year-old me that I didn't have the hope that I have now. Granted, made a lot of we've made a lot of progress. We still have a lot way to go, but back then I didn't have the hope that I have now. When it came down to my family. And I shared this on the podcast earlier this year. When I was living in Chicago, my brother and my sister, one of my sisters came to visit me, and my brother said to me, I knew you were gay then, and I loved you then, and I love you now. And I never gave my family a chance. I had already prejudged them based upon living in Texas, being growing up in the Southern Baptist Church, and being led to believe that there was something wrong with me. So here I was, there's this wall, and then the other wall of prejudging my family and not giving them the chance. I'm okay with saying that, but I didn't give them the chance. I didn't because I was so fearful of what I learned in church at the time that I was scared to um, live and do the things that I wanted to do. And so I look now where you don't know who's looking at your stories on Instagram. And granted, you can put anything on Instagram these days, but you don't know who is inspired by your story. And I know that there are individuals out there that might be looking at me and wish that or hope that they could have a family, an older brother, sisters, mom, aunt. My family tells me all the time, like they'd be like, you can bring someone home, right? And I think about, I never thought that was possible
Yeah.
when I was 8 years old and putting that pink lotion in my hair and slicking it back. And, like there's things that back in the day that I just did not have hope for. So I think about that hopeless little boy that um just didn't know the things that we have happened, same-sex marriage, being able to adopt, hopefully in all states at some point. I just think about that little boy. I also think about the 19-year-old that I never got a chance to tell my dad before he passed. And while I think to myself that maybe my dad knew, I never got a chance to tell him. And I wish that I just had not I wish that I have had more hope, that maybe I could have stepped out a little bit more. You don't know what you don't know, right? I don't
Right.
regret a damn thing about my journey at all because it's written. I can't change my past, but I can damn well create my future. And so I wish that I would have been able to tell my dad before he passed. I lost my dad at 19, so I was even more scared as I came out at 18, 19. Now I have one parent,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish that I would have had more hope, given my family a chance, uh and not been so damn scared. I mean, granted, back in high school I was fucking girls left and right, so obviously.
that's
And
that's why
so
he's a true daddy. I the pappy.
but um but I just think about that scared 8-year old, everybody, bullying me back in school. I wish that I could have had a little bit more hope back in the day. I was a little hopeless, and I never thought about suicide or anything like that. But I felt hopeless. I feel hopeful now,
Yeah.
but back then, like back in the 90s, it wasn't easy. I mean, even having a gay character on Melrose Place or some other show that I used to watch felt odd. And now almost every show out there has some sort of queerness element to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I get a little teary-eyed about that hopeless little boy that just didn't know what the 39-year-old knows now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's such as you guys both nailed some pieces of mine too. I if I had a time machine to go back and kind of tell my younger self, and maybe that I would be surprised to hear then, is that I'm finally being able to tap into the greatness that I always knew was there, that I was scared to tap into because it was going to reveal my total self. I always the one thing my parents did a very good job with was instilling in us that we're great. So I believed it my entire life, but I hindered myself because of other just little cues that you hear about being gay and stuff like that. That I was like, dang, I can't be all the way great though because
Right.
XYZ. And so that's the one thing now and it's going to be a life journey because there's still times I find myself stopping myself because it's just like something you've built up, like it was your armor to protect yourself. And so, but like, there's times that now I'm like, I can do what I want to do. Like, I've had these skill sets, I've had this talent, I've had this, and it's been years for me not to be able to tap into that because, like, you want to be humble and things like that. But no, I'm proud of myself, and it's taken me 38 years to finally say that shit and to do some shit that, like, I truly feel like I've been placed on Earth to give, because I feel like everyone has skill sets and greatness that you are specifically here to give the world, you know? And a lot of times life gets in the way and it prevents you, you know? But I think my 16-year-old self, my 12-year-old self would be like, damn, hold on, you on a podcast and you talking about gay shit every week and you wearing wigs every week and you going to this gay bar and you got a husband? Like, bitch, you married? Like, houseway, and on your anniversary, the people that you did not give the benefit of the doubt to come out to publicly like that are the ones wishing you happy
Yeah.
anniversary. The same people at the church, the one that use, the church director and musician, like, that would boggle my mind back then, and it still
Yeah.
does. And it's allowed me to slowly but surely take off some of these walls that I've built over time and really allow my true self to come out and get to what I need to instill on this earth. And that's fucking incredible to me. I'm not all the way there yet because there's still times where I'm like, okay, hold on. Okay. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared that this person's gonna judge me or this, whatever it is. And have to remind myself, give folks the benefit of the doubt to either prove you right or prove you wrong. That's it. And then you can make
Yeah.
the move you need to move afterwards. And a lot of folks, thank God. Oh, this is gonna make me boo-hoo. Don't stop. Hold on. A lot of folks mean well. They might not do well sometimes. They might not say well because they're still working on their journey too, you know? And so to give
Yeah.
them that benefit of doubt doesn't mean you have to keep them in your circle all the time because it might disturb your peace and what you need to do. But I've found that most folks actually kind of try to mean well, and it just takes a little nudging, maybe from a gay person or whomever, to have them finally have the courage to unveil the shit they dealing with and be like, hold on, like, okay, Carell got married to a dude, so what? Like, I care for him, I da 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 da, whatever it may be. So that's what I would tell myself. So for those that are like struggling or coming out to it, like they say it gets better. It gets better. You got to do the work still. There's still gonna be
Yeah.
hurdles. The road is a roller coaster. It ain't a straight line, but it's
Neither are we.
period. But it's shock yourself. Have the bravery to shock yourself, and again, there might be some hiccups. There's not even might. There's going to be,
Yeah.
but just have the courage and the courage to shock yourself. So I think my 16-year-old self would be like, "Damn, okay, Negro, you did it. Shit, like you might like." And I think my 16-year-old dreamt this a little bit, just didn't know how to do it. Like, especially sometimes that young, you don't have the words, you don't have the tool set yet, and sometimes you just have to have life happen to start gaining little tools, gaining little.
And that's kind of like what we were talking about earlier about age.
Yeah,
A lot of the
yeah,
things that we are telling our younger selves is because things happen over time and we
yeah,
learn these things
Yeah.
over time.
yeah.
And that's one of the great things about getting older is that
So true.
we learn. Well, some people don't.
Somebody got to keep learning.
Some people don't. Some people are still in the same lesson. I'm talking about like super, 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 super seniors, okay? Like
Super duper seniors.
look, okay. But like hearing like y'all stories and then just thinking about mine, like as much as I want to go back and tell my younger self this, I feel like if I did, it would change so much of where I am today
Yeah.
that I almost would not want to. You know, I
Mhm.
would not wish a lot of the things that I've been through in my life on other people, but I am very grateful that for the experiences that I've been through because I've gained some things and some knowledge that some people don't have,
Yeah.
and that some people can't begin to understand. But it truly has made me who I am today and put me in the places that I am today.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I
Absolutely.
think
Yeah.
about like the podcast and how we started this 3 years
Yeah.
ago, and like how like this was a catalyst that also helped me figure out my most authentic self. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like this also added to that. So like if I go back and tell my younger self those crucial things that got me thinking like that sooner, who knows where I would be today,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
love telling these stories, not for my younger self, but for the younger people of today, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's why I love and I encourage people to have these conversations and think about today's young people and how what we've been through do not have to be things that they have to go
Showed
through.
up.
You know, we can
Um,
pass that wisdom through by having conversations.
Yeah.
I also think about the 18-year-old that had their first gay breakup, you know, your
Yeah.
first
It's gonna
relationship,
hurt.
and how badly that hurt, and it how I thought at the time. Now I'd be like, that nigga ain't shit, but now like looking, like I look back to that moment of like my first gay heartbreak, if you will, and how bad things were, and I just could not get out of that, and it's so hard to, I wish I could tell my younger self, just like Jarrell, I wouldn't change a thing. I wish I could go back and tell my younger self it's gonna be okay, but I also treasure my first love and the
Oh, I
lessons
hate
and great.
mine. Fuck that
My,
nigga.
like I said, that nigga
And
ain't shit.
I would happily stump out his windshield again, like I
Again.
did back then.
Choose your character.
Damn.
I would say the one thing too, like, kiss that boy. Kiss him. Like, obviously, like,
Yeah.
not the straight ones and the ones that you have a crush on that's straight and they ain't going to end well.
Because there's a lot of those. There's a
Right?
lot of
But
those.
just like that gay friend, maybe, and obviously ask permission, but like, don't chicken out. Like, that's one thing I wish. Like, I wish I enjoyed my college experiences and things like that, but I even wish I was out in college because it's just something that you got to go through at that age, you
Yeah.
know. That even to this day that I sometimes feel like I missed out on a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
That I look back at some of these kids that are outdoor going, I'm like, dang, I really enjoyed college, but I really would have enjoyed.
I was at this little high school sporting event and watching these two boys walk together holding hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
fire.
started to tear up. And it was like this high school event. And
Yeah.
like literally, and they were just holding hands. One was leaning, and while they were walking, the other one was texting. And I was just like,
Oh, that's so cute. Right.
oh, it was just,
Yeah.
I
See,
completely
didn't have
agree.
that. I didn't
I
have that.
honestly, in high school, I didn't have that either. But seeing it now and
Yeah.
seeing the younger generation be so much more comfortable with who they are,
Yeah.
it warms my heart.
1000%.
It really does. It
1000%.
really does.
So again, on this coming out day, like I and it's funny. I love that Corey and I's anniversary is on this day. We didn't plan it that way. We were originally supposed to be yesterday, but then that's the summer that bitches was dying, so it kind of delayed the wedding by a day. That sounds so harsh. The people truly were dying in Dominican Republic, et cetera, et cetera. But
Yeah.
but I say that to say I'm glad that every year it's on coming out day because it does mean a lot to me to finally feel comfortable. It doesn't mean like I'm every day is 100% comfortable. There's still triggers. There's still things I'm working through. But for those still struggling to come out, you'll know when you need to.
Yeah.
But things do get better with age. Things get better with wisdom. Things get better with experience. So come out, do it in a setting that you feel comfortable, and if you don't feel like your environment is comfortable, DM us. Like, say the gay shit you need to say in the DMs to us and things like that. Like, because don't hold yourself and your greatness hostage. because the world needs your distinctness, your particular greatness. And that's the one thing that once I came out, it opened up a part of me that I kept hidden. And there's another part of my greatness that is allowed to shine now, that someone, I don't know who,
Is inspired by it.
needed to hear and see and experience. And to stop that from occurring is sad. So we need your distinct greatness. Whoever's
Yeah.
hearing this, I don't know who's hearing this. We need your distinct greatness. You're here for a purpose. We need that. So continue to say your DMs. Why can't I say this anymore?
Girl, I don't even know.
Continue to send your Ask Your Aunteas questions to aya@minoriteareport.com or DM us. I just need to slow down. That's what it is.
Yeah.
My brain be going a mile a minute.